Welcome back, minors. My name's Amber Johnston, and I'm a counselor here at Student Wellbeing.
And my name is Tracy Kriegel. I'm a counselor here at Student Wellbeing as well. And it's time for your morning cup of joe. We are so excited to have you here as a part of our podcast this morning. Just wanted to give you just a little brief snippet about what we do here. Every week we come in and we give you a great podcast, hopefully that you really enjoy. So we want to talk about today some really exciting things, but just a quick brief update. If you have some podcast ideas that you want to shoot our way, please email us at Student Wellbeing. And we are so open to anything that you want to do, but if you'd like us to do a roving podcast and do an open forum on discussions that you'd like, shoot us a topic and we'll be glad to come your way to do a roving discussion topic forum. So Amber, take over.
Well, this week we're going to do a little bit of a special episode. We kind of thought about doing something specific to St. Pat's. St. Pat's is such a huge deal here on campus, and I think it's something that's pertinent. It's on everybody's mind right now. It's hard not to be just walking through campus at the moment. So we wanted to kind of talk about St. Pat's, what St. Pat's is like from some people who've celebrated. For those of you who are newer to campus, maybe this is your first St. Pat's here, we wanted to be able to talk about it and give you the chance to kind of discuss some safety tips, some ways to enjoy ourselves in a healthy and safe manner, and also what it's like just in general. We have a special guest with us today. So Andrew, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Andrew Winiger. I'm a junior in engineering management, and I'm currently the St. Pat's Board President. I'm grateful for the opportunity here today. In my position, I organize and help coordinate the best ever celebration that we have on this campus. I work with the community, the student body, and the active St. Pat's Board to try and throw the best ever celebration each year.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
So how many times have you been in St. Pat's? Is this how many times?
So this is my third year. I got involved in St. Pat's my freshman year, and I've been active on the board ever since.
Okay.
It's awesome. Definitely committed. Great to have you.
So when you participate in it, I know you participate in it in the board sense. What does that look like? Do you go to events or?
Yeah, so as you may or may not have noticed, we have the snake pits out today in front of Toomey Hall, and so we help organize events like that, Gonzo and Games, the carnival, the concert, the follies that happen at the Puck. We help coordinate all of those events, and all board members show up to all these events to help coordinate and help give the students and community something to look forward to around St. Pat's, and have these activities that help relieve stress and help give them an opportunity to have fun with their peers and other people around in the community.
Wonderful. Do you go to events that have alcohol, and how do you choose to consume alcohol while you're there?
Yeah, absolutely. There are events that do have alcohol at them. They're not really sponsored by the board. I'm in a fraternity myself, and I know a lot of fraternities and other groups will throw parties during St. Pat's and the nights when activities aren't going on. So the most important thing there is to consume at a safe rate and don't really try to play games like, if my buddy is going to drink 6 beers, I don't personally have to drink 6 beers. I need to drink what I'm comfortable with and in my limits so that I don't get sick or have a bad experience.
So how much do you think other students drink?
I would say they probably have 6 drinks a night, given that's our current IFC policy, 6 to 8 drinks at an event.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Well, we've compiled some information from the MOCB, and we put this in with, which that's actively going on right now, but this is from stuff from last year, and we've kind of put it in to kind of give an idea of what the statistics say that people are reporting. And what we're hearing is that we see that students report a perception that their peers are consuming an average of 2.23 drinks per drinking occasion, but in reality they're actually consuming about 1.89, which is less than there's a perception that people are drinking more than they are, and this leads to a difference in the expectation fiction versus reality, and it can lead us to feeling pressured to drink more because we think everybody's drinking more, they're having more fun than I am, I need to drink more and keep up.
Yeah. So kind of like what I'm taking from that is it sounds like students are doing, they're actually going to parties to have more social fun, which is actually a positive thing. So it sounds like, the board's actually putting together some really good fun events. So students aren't feeling pressured to drink. They're actually going there to have fun with their peers and, have fun. So to me, it sounds like everything's being more in a positive light of just going, hang out with their peers, having fun, going to those games, and just being themselves and having fun. So it doesn't sound like alcohol is really that thing that everybody has to be pressured to do, which is a positive thing that I think this campus has really put at a forefront and putting that, expectation, on the back burner, really not at the place of a forefront. So good job to you guys. I think that's a kudos that has to go out to this board, to really not make that expectation. So
yeah, and absolutely. And sometimes you do get the stigma with St. Pat and St. Patrick's Day that alcohol should be the main focus, but really giving the opportunity to have events that are sober or don't require alcohol, allow more people to participate in this beloved tradition that we have, and that at the end of the day, that's what you want to see is a lot of the student body being able to participate and not feel the pressure of having to drink alcohol to fit in or have fun,
Right.
Absolutely.
So if you had to describe what St. Pat's is like to somebody who had never been there before, what would you describe it as?
I would describe it as a 10-day celebration where the students have events that allow them to blow off steam from their academically challenging classes and just come together, have fun with friends, and make lifelong memories that they really couldn't experience anywhere else.
What would you tell them it was like?
I would tell them it's a lot of fun, from the snake invasions to going to the carnival games at Gonzo and Games. It's basically just a big festival where you can make memories with your friends, and that not necessarily alcohol has to be involved in that, and you can just come and play games, have fun, and really do experiences that you aren't going to get anywhere else.
Right.
That's awesome.
So,
what's your favorite activity here at Missouri S&T during St. Patrick's Week?
I mentioned it briefly earlier, but I really do enjoy the snake pits. So when you are building your shillelagh or your walking stick and you're able to kill a snake for the first time, it's just a very rewarding thing because you're like, wow, I would have never imagined I would have done this coming into college, because I didn't really know much about St. Pat's, but then being able to go into those snake pits and kill a snake, that's just such a unique experience. I don't think you're going to find that anywhere else, and it's a whole lot of fun.
for those out there listeners that we may have that maybe this is their first St. Pat's and they're not familiar with what the shillelaghs are or the snake pits or anything else, you want to give us kind of a brief overview of what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically there are rubber snakes inside the snake pits, and you're given a rubber snake to kill with a wooden walking stick or wooden shillelagh that is usually carved, and it has snakes and shamrocks painted on it, and you go, here's to the first annual best ever St. Pat's, and then you hit the snake with your walking stick or shillelagh, and you do that over and over again until you reach 115, because that's the year we're at this year.
Awesome.
And then you'll be asked a simple trivia question over St. Patrick's Day or the festivities, or you'll be asked about a board rep, like who's the president of the St. Pat's board, and you would answer like Andrew Winiger. Or you'll be asked, what's the official color of St. Pat's, and you would answer Kelly Green. And then once you do that, you get your snake and you bite the head off or you twist it off, and then you get to keep the snake head. And it's just a really unique tradition that isn't going to be found anywhere else.
No, and it's been here for forever.
Yeah.
It's I know when I went to school here, it was here, and we were doing it back then. We were in the snake pits.
I think it's such a neat tradition to do, because you were saying it's to help people burn off stress and burn off steam. Being a counselor here at Student Wellbeing, I can imagine how extremely cathartic that is, just to help people put their stress and their anger and their frustration right there in that snake pit, and just let that out, because you can release so much tension in that event. So yeah, I think if people have not gotten out there, they should do that. So just a real source of encouragement to take part in that event. So
well, and it's
exciting.
so wonderful to see the shillelaghs too, because they spend so much time on carving them and decorating them. They're really beautiful. And it's very much an experience. So thank you. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's exciting.
What do you find the most entertaining about the St. Patrick's festivities?
So the most entertaining would definitely be the concert that happens on Saturday night. We have a free concert for all of our students here that is going to be performed on the Havener lawn this year. And so that is really such a great opportunity that we're able to provide. And we actually partnered with Sub this year as well. So we're able to bring in a little bit bigger name for the concert. And that's a really great opportunity for students to come out, enjoy a free concert, live music, and just have a good time with their friends.
Okay.
Awesome.
So for the freshmen that are coming in this year, and this is their first St. Pat's, would you have any advice that you would want to give them?
Yeah, participate in everything you can. I know that many people associate St. Pat's with drinking and frat parties, but that's really not what we have to offer at all. We have the carnivals on Thursday and Friday. We have the parade Saturday morning. We have the Swag, which is a Grateful Dead cover band, come to the band shell on Saturday from 1 to 3. And then we're going to have the concert starting at 6:30 on that Saturday. I would say go to everything that you're comfortable with going to and want to enjoy everything. See what's out there and see what we have to offer you so that you're getting the fullest experience that you possibly can.
Well, in the parade, the parade doesn't sound like as impressive as it really is, because as for parades, the St. Patrick's Day parade here in Rolla is probably the biggest parade I've ever been to. It's the longest by far comparative to any other parade that I've ever been to, and it's just, I don't know how to explain how different it is. It's an experience. You have the whole town turns out, not just the university. And so it's very crowded. There's people giving away T-shirts and beads. People collect beads, kind of like, it almost like Mardi Gras, like tons and tons. Most people leave with 20 or 30 strands of beads by the end of the parade.
Yeah, I've been coming to it since I was a kid, so a little kid.
Yeah, I've got a whole collection of them. Like, I could probably fill my arm with the beads I've gotten from St. Pat's over the years.
Yeah.
But they give out sodas, and they'll give out candy, and there's different organizations from all over town, and there's so many bands and so much music and dancing, and it's such an experience.
It really is. It really is. So, yeah. So what advice would you give to your peers to avoid during St. Pat's Week?
I would say over drinking or the stress of binge drinking. Please do not do that. That is not necessary, and it really does not reflect what the active board is trying to push for St. Pat's. If you're going to drink, please drink responsibly is what I would want everyone to know.
Right, that's great tips. Yeah, I think they're the things that we like to highlight are just safer drinking strategies. Avoid the drinking games if they can. And limit numbers of drinks. Alternative, using water instead of alcohol. Avoid the chugging. Because you don't want that huge effect of getting into your system quicker. Eating before consuming alcohol, having a sober friend in the group, always important, knowing where your drink is at all times, and stop drinking at predetermined times. I think those are important things for people to utilize as those safer drinking habits as well. So I think those are very important for people to utilize as safer drinking strategies. So important things to consider for folks. So have you ever felt unsafe in an activity during St. Pat's Week?
I have not ever felt unsafe during an activity during St. Pat's Week.
Right, that's good.
Okay.
It's good to
That's
hear.
good.
So, yeah, good.
Was there any time that you had to do particular extra things in order to feel safe, like maybe using a buddy system or anything like that, that made you feel more safe at some of the activities?
A lot of fraternities offer sober drives, and so sober drives really help mitigate a lot of the risk, and they'll have sober monitors and sober executive members as well. So there are sober people around, especially at a lot of those fraternal events. And then during, for the active board, all of us are sober during St. Pat's. Like, we're being sober at these events, putting them on, making sure that everyone is safe and having fun when they're coming to our events, because we want to give a good environment to everyone to be able to participate in our events.
It's wonderful. It's very good. Do you feel like binge drinking is a problem during St. Pat's Week?
I feel like the stigma of it is, but I don't feel like our active student body binge drinks during St. Pat's, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Okay. It really does, yeah. Are you familiar with the Step Up program?
Yes. So through Joe's Peers, there's the Step Up program. The St. Pat's board is actually gold certified, and then my fraternity, Sigma Nu, is silver certified. So I'm very familiar with the Step Up project and the Step Up program and the innovation and the intervention and the ways to mitigate risk and just do the right things when it comes to dangerous situations.
That's right. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, the Step Up program is a bystander intervention program in which we encourage people to, if they see something that could be problematic behavior like heavy binge drinking, a potential for any kind of violence, or maybe some mental health issues going on, that we would say something, if you see something, say something, in order to try to lessen the danger in that situation and maybe potentially save a life or help somebody from being hurt. So it's a wonderful program, and you can there's various ways to be certified in it and ways to get more information.
Right. And I think it's something, by the data that we have, the statistics show that 3 out of 4 students believe that it's their responsibility to intervene in a situation when someone else's health or safety is in a jeopardy. So, I think that's good. It reflects that when a student sees another student in jeopardy, they're typically going to act, in a responsible manner and say, hey, my friend's hurting, I need to do something to get them help. And so if you do see somebody who needs help, don't be afraid to say, hey, my friend's hurting, I need to get him help, and so don't be afraid to be that one to stand in the gap and say, I got to get you help. And don't be afraid to offend them, act in their stead. So yeah.
So what about overall safety? Do you think that there's anything in particular that people need to be aware of, not just in relation to drinking, but just safer practices in going to these large events?
I would say always be aware of your surroundings, like with any large event. Just make sure that there's nothing suspicious happening, you're watching yourself, and you're making sure that you're looking out for your friends as well.
Do you personally set any kind of specific goals for yourself during St. Pat's weekend, like regarding like drinking? Like set goals on like, I'm not going to drink any more than this much and that kind of thing?
I personally haven't, because I've never drank during St. Pat's before, because I've always been throwing those events, but I know many people who do.
Okay.
So how about goals like for sleeping, exercise, because you're busy having to take care of all the events? How about those well-being goals like nutrition, exercise, sleeping, because I'm sure you're having to take care of all these events and activities. Do you set other goals for yourself?
Yeah, I would always make sure that I'm eating during the week, making sure I'm not missing meals, making sure I'm taking a shower every day and my hygiene is good. I'm making sure that I'm getting around 6 to 8 hours a night. It just depends. Like if there's a homework assignment or so, you're not going to get 8 hours every night. But I don't know many college students that do get 8 hours every day.
Right, exactly.
So just trying to get as much sleep as possible and making sure that I'm in a healthy mood where I'm able to function to the best of my ability.
That's good. Yeah, I think it's important. Sometimes we get so involved in activities and so active that sometimes we neglect some of those simple things like eating and drinking enough water and just sleeping. Yeah, that's the key too. So absolutely. So
And they're very, very, very important, and it helps us be able to be more healthy when we're going through this. We go all this, like, 'cause we're going super fast through these activities, and we're constantly going and having fun and all that, and it drains on you if we're not eating right, we're not drinking, and that can really have an effect on how we feel and how much fun we're able to have.
Right, exactly. Just focus. If you're not sleeping and eating and drinking, you can't focus on things.
Right.
That's super important. So, yeah.
So, can you give your peer tips to keep up with academics? Like you mentioned, like having a lot of homework due or anything the week of. Is there anything that you would have with everything going on? How do you stay up on your class material?
Don't skip class. That's the number one thing. I know that it may be enticing to go to an event, but like for snake pits, we have snake pits all day long. You can go to your classes and still come to the snake pits. I would say, please make sure you're going to class and make sure that you're being a responsible student first, because we all came to this university to get our degree, and so it would really be a shame if you're struggling academically that you choose to go to a St. Pat's event over prioritizing academics. I really want to make that push and say, please go to all your classes, because if you go to class, odds are your chances of having a better grade are going to go up.
Right.
Appreciate that. I think that's important for all students to know. So I appreciate you bringing that forward to the table. So very good.
Well, and our data says that more than half of our students feel that their use of risk reduction strategies, like stuff we've talked about, has positively impacted their ability to keep up with their schoolwork.
Yeah, I think that's good.
So, last note, what do you know about the Cheers program?
The Cheers program is for designated drivers to get a drink at participating restaurants, either soda or something along the lines for free. And so this really, really, really hammers home, please don't drink and drive. That is one of the most dangerous things that you could ever do. You're never stronger than the alcohol that is in your system. You're impaired. And please don't get on the road and cost your life or someone else's life, or a life-threatening injury or a life-changing injury. Drinking and driving is one of the most dangerous things you could do. So utilizing the Cheers program and having a sober drive is one of the best decisions you can make in your life, if not the most important decision you could ever make.
Right. So here's a list of some of the restaurants locally that participate in the Cheers program. We have Applebee's, Bandanas, Buffalo Wild Wings, Emo's, Public House Brewing Company, and Hoppers. So, okay. Is there any note that you would like to leave the students on today?
I would love for the students just know that the 115th annual Best Ever St. Pat's is right around the corner. There's only 8 days left. I would love to see you all come out and participate in our events. And if you have any questions, go to www.stpats.mst.edu. And if you click on participation, you can find at what times and dates all our locations are happening all around Rolla. So please, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself as well. My contact information can be found on the website, and I hope that you all have the best ever this year. Thank you for your time today.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us today, Andrew. And
thank you.
We wish for you all to have a happy and wonderful and safe St. Pat's this year. Thank you for joining us, and have a great day.
Thank you.
For more information about mental health and wellness, contact Student Wellbeing at 204 Norwood Hall. And you can also give us a call at 573-341-4211.
The song Happy Days is brought to us by music from www.free-stock-music.com. You can also add and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook using our handle at S&T Wellbeing.